So welcome once again back to the Tony and Nikki Couch on TNTV, where we have, over the next 4 weeks, a sort of little mini-series for you on the secret to experiencing the ultimate love, sex and intimate in relationship experience.
That's absolutely it. There are 4 key things which are going to make the difference to either having a absolutely average or absolutely dysfunctional relationship, or something that's absolutely a 10 out of 10.
Beyond your
love,
wildest
sex, intimacy.
dreams. Yes,
beautiful.
Yes. So this week we're going to share with you one of those keys to success, and that key is one small word beginning with T.
Yes.
And it is the word
Trust. It's a big, big word for women.
It's a small word, it's only a few letters, but it's got a very, very big meaning. And of course it means different things to different people. And what I guess men don't really understand is most women out there are finding it extremely difficult, if they're very honest, to trust men. Yeah, and that will be a variety of reasons, so maybe share some of
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've heard us talk before about the infamous and the famous masculine and feminine energy, right? Women basically, whether they are running a masculine pattern or whether they are below the feminine and are kind of passive aggressive or they're fearful, needy, whatever, they are going to need to find a way to trust. Now, of course, this is the important thing, is that a woman needs to learn how to trust the universe, trust life, trust it, and to let go of some of the irrational fears which she is running. And also then, she needs to do that first, and then she's looking to trust a man. And that's where, men don't realise how important that is to women, do they?
No, and I think, one of the interesting things where, both sexes are getting it wrong, so it's not about one sex being right and the other being wrong. It's like, oh my gosh, there's an education here for all of us. Yeah. But I think that the thing is that what women tend to do, particularly in young relationships, is that they tend to entrust their it's a very valuable body, this, isn't it beautiful? All dressed in green here, green and shiny with a beautiful necklace. They trust this beautiful body to a man in bed. And we had one lady once who wouldn't let a man drive a Mercedes, but she was sleeping with him. So isn't it interesting? See, she's not trusting to life, but she was trusting a man who maybe wasn't trustworthy. I'm not really sure, I don't remember the whole story, but maybe he wasn't trustworthy enough for her to actually experience the ultimate loving, intimate relationship with, because she actually wasn't trusting him in a way that was really healthy, we were saying.
Yeah, and I think the thing was actually in that case, which is really interesting and so common, is that actually a woman, that whilst women need to find a way to trust the universe and to trust men and not to have that irrational fear, what this guy was not showing up in a certain state. So what happens then is that, he's not certain himself, he's not got his life handled, and therefore the woman goes, okay, I cannot trust him to look after me. Quite frankly, I'm not really seeing him look after himself that well, so consequently I'll do it for myself, I'll look after myself, or I'll get really needy and go, well, like you promised me that you'd look after me, kind of thing. And so I think that, men and women have both got such a huge part to play here in women, letting go of being irrationally fearful and really understanding the core of the man. If you've got a good man out there, if you're attracting great men, it's really, you can't wait to, a lot of women will say what they are, well, when a great man comes along, I'll trust him. Well, a great man is not going to be attracted to you if you're not in a trusting kind of space anyway. And then when you've got a good man out there, for goodness sake, trust him to handle stuff instead of jumping in and, trying to get yourself safe, because that's so common, isn't it?
So the message is quite simple, really. Women, to get the best result, you need to be trusting to life. Now, we're not saying trust to unhealthy men, because that's not good. A man needs to be trustworthy, and the thing is, you need to find out whether he is first before you get into a relationship with him. Now, if you've been in a relationship with him for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and he's not showing up in a trustworthy state, and then you're taking the lead, you're technically in control one way or the other, you're leading the relationship, that's going to be your disconnect as well. So, long-term trust is really important. And of course, men, what do we need to trust in? Well, the one thing that most men are not trusting in, which is costing them dearly because their women don't trust them, is they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their own masculinity, they don't trust their own manhood. That, when life throws something at them, they go all wobbly, and then their woman goes wobbly as well, and then the worst thing is that she jumps in and sorts it all out. So of course, men, we need to trust that as men, whatever the world throws at us, we got it handled. There's nothing, if you get into a place where there's nothing you cannot handle, you're sorted in your life. Your woman will let go to you. She will trust you in life, and very importantly, in terms of intimacy, she will trust you in the bedroom, where you will get massively different results than if she's not.
That's right. So actually, because it starts right at the beginning, whether you're, dating or on your first date or whether you've been married 30 years, doesn't make any difference. As Tony said, for men to really show up in a way that's certain so that women can trust, and women, for goodness sake, leave that gap, as we call it. Let him get on with it so that and trust him to get on with it. He may even be at a different pace than you, but to actually trust him to get on with the things, and therefore then you're going to get such a different type of connection in your relationship or on your date.
Yeah, so it's a big old subject. The small word trust got a big meaning, and maybe you've agreed with some of that, maybe there's some new revelations for you there, and of course it's a small component of a bigger story, but learning the key to trusting in yourself as a man, or for a woman to trust in the man, or to trust into life, they're absolutely one of the biggest keys you can have. So really, there you go, key number 1. We will see you next week for the second key to that door that unlocks love, sex and intimacy at the highest level. So we'll see you from me, Tony V, and my beautiful sexy wife Nikki V. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.